Hi guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome to my channel. I'm Chelsea, you may know me as Brown Girl Does Makeup. Thank you for clicking on my video. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and give my videos a thumbs up. It really helps me out if you're enjoying the content, that is. So I've got a second part of my eyeshadow declutter, and as you can see, I haven't gotten far. Well, actually I decluttered 10 palettes yesterday. I don't know how many I actually have in total, so we'll figure out, all that business at the end of however many videos I do. So before I begin, I'm going to actually just organize this a bit better because I want to see what color stories I have in each palette that I know I want to keep, and then maybe cross-reference what I'm not 100% sure on whether I will keep it or not, and then hopefully that way it will go a little bit. But again, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go because this is really hard. So I kind of section them off into the color stories that look similar to one another. I didn't actually look at the palettes, I just went by memory, so I don't know. But my Pat McGrath, Huda Beauty, Natasha Denona I've left like that because they're not, I mean, I have a few, but I don't want to put too many together, so I put the ones that I definitely know I can kind of make a decision on whether I should declutter or not, and I've left those ones because I will do another round, I think, and have a look at those ones and see if the ones I'm keeping have any similarities to those ones, and then I will declutter again, I think, if that makes sense. So basically I have these two, which is the Sultry palette and the Naked Reloaded palette, and they're very similar in color story. The only difference is, as you can see, I think the Sultry one's slightly a bit punchier with the coral and stuff, and the Naked Reloaded is more muted. Really and truly, I don't actually need to keep both, and I kind of want to keep both because I'm kind of just looking at the color, the shimmers, and I'm thinking, well, this is similar to that one but it's not quite, and it's also similar to that one but it's not quite. Let me just actually swatch them. The two on the sides is the Sultry palette and the one in the middle is the Reloaded palette. So although they look quite similar, I'm talking about this shade, and this shade, they're actually not similar. So the most similar two is these two, which is Pearl from the Sultry palette, but even then it's slightly cooler. Yeah, so slightly cooler, so they're different. And then these are the two golds. Let me just do another swatch of that. So these are the two golds. That's this gold here and this gold there, and you can see they're different as well. So the Sultry palette is warmer and the Naked palette is cooler. So then if we look at, let's see, this one and this one. So again, just eyeballing, this one and this one kind of look similar, but they're completely different. So moral of the story is the shimmers are completely different. So I guess they're kind of like both have a space in my collection, but when I start going through the neutral palettes, I think I'm gonna look back at this and maybe consider the Sultry palette isn't going anywhere. It's one of my favorite palettes. It's more the Naked Reloaded palette, because I have the Sultry one, I don't really go into the Reloaded one, but I have all the other ones, and maybe another one might get the cut and not the Naked Reloaded palette, I don't know. So I'm gonna keep those to a side for now. So now I'm gonna move into another category, and it's gonna be sort of like my nudes, neutrals, everyday kind of palettes that I can use, and see whether I have something similar in that I could potentially declutter. So these are my palettes that I have that are quite like neutral, everyday kind of palettes, and there are quite a few, and I'm struggling to decide whether to declutter them or not. And I know it's really sad to say because they're just palettes, but like I said, I have attachment issues and I need to kind of try and let go. but having a look at them and having a think, I think these ones up here, like my elf ones and the Fenty Beauty one, I might just declutter. Well, I am going to declutter because I've got like duplicate colors in all these palettes. This is the Morphe one over here, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I might just declutter this one too, because again I have those colors in these ones. So like the V one I haven't touched yet, so I want to keep that to play around with. My Viseart palettes I really want to keep because they're like my kind of like my favorite formulas. And then I've got Soft Glam down here, and you can see it's very similar color schemes going on with those ones. And then the Too Faced one, even though I don't support the brand, I really do like that palette. And you got the Belle, and then the Tarte ones, I do really like the Tarte ones too. I could potentially declutter the big ones and only keep the little ones, but I had a look and the shades aren't the same, which is a bit of an excuse to keep the big ones. But I think if I'm decluttering these and this Morphe one, I think that's a good amount. So let me just have a count. So altogether I got 20 palettes and I'm gonna declutter 9, so that leaves me with 11 palettes. I'm kind of thinking of decluttering this one, which is the Urban Decay Honey Naked palette, because I know even though like it's not very similar to the ones I want to keep, it is again kind of similar, because like this Vive palette has those golds, and so does the Soft Glam, which is one I really want to keep. So for me, I'm thinking I could get rid of this because I've got 2 palettes that have similar colors, and also in the Melt one I've got these shades that are kind of on the same vibe as this one. And I know in my Pat McGrath palettes and some of the Huda Beauty palettes as well, I've got these golds and stuff. So I think I am going to I'm going to declutter 10 and I'm going to keep 10. So yesterday's video I decluttered 10 palettes, and today's video I've decluttered 10 palettes, so that's 20. And in this pile here I have 12, which I think is good. You know, really good for me anyway. So I think I'm gonna do one more pile of palettes which are similar colors, and then I'm gonna close this video off because I'm filming in between work and obviously Elisa and stuff, so I need to kind of keep them short and slowly do this. So I'm gonna pick one more pile of palettes. I'm just thinking, do I do a small pile or do I do a big pile? Like if I do a small pile, it would be really easy because I know I'm going to just declutter one palette out of that small pile, but then I can do a few small piles in one video. So these are all the palettes that have like a pop of blue or a pop of purple with them, or a pop of green or something like that. Now I know my Pat McGrath palettes have a pop of purple. Oh well, no, they have a pop of blue and a pop of green in one or two of them. And obviously I have these Anastasia Beverly Hills ones, which I'm not gonna get rid of, which have the green and blue here, and then we've got the purples here, and then I've got the Novena palette which has the purples in it. So my goal is to try and eliminate some of the greens and the blues that I don't really need, because these palettes kind of have a lot of neutral mixed in with them as well. So I'm disregarding the neutrals and just considering the pops of like blues and greens and stuff. There's also, I think I should add a couple of other palettes to this sort of array of colors, because like the Juvia's Place ones, but I'm gonna do that after I've gone through these. So this is really difficult because I want to keep the Milani and I want to keep my Tarte palettes and I want to keep my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. The only ones I would consider is potentially the Too Faced and the e.l.f. I know this e.l.f. one is super basic. Like I have these colors in literally every palette. You can see some of them, these colors in some of these palettes here, and this blue is here, and then I've got, well, this is more of a teal, this is a teal. The blue, I've got the blue here, I've got the blue there. So I think I'm just going to declutter this one from here. And and the rest is really difficult, to be honest. I'm not sure if I want to declutter any of these, but I know I kind of should because I have so many, and I do really need to reduce them. And I think I'm going to keep the Milani one for sentimental reasons, and I'm going to keep the Anastasia Beverly Hills ones and stuff. But this Too Faced gingerbread one, I feel like I can get rid of it because I have these colors in so many of the palettes. I mean, this green is sort of a black and base green, which is something that I can see similarities to that one. So yeah, so the top one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and the bottom one is the Too Faced. So the Too Faced is really black, a black base, and only the shimmer is green, and that's something I wouldn't actually vibe with. So I think I can actually declutter this too. And I think I'm going to leave it like that for now, only because I'm not 100% sure on this Tarte one, because it is an old collection. But not only that, I'm having a look at it and sort of like these colors here and these ones are in so many of these other palettes, and I think I have a matte blue in one of the Juvia's Place palettes. So if I do have the matte blue, I think I might be able to declutter this one, because I think the Juvia's Place one is the Magic Mini palette, and the pans are so much more smaller. Well, actually the pan size are similar, but these are so pretty. I'm gonna have a think about it. I need to have a look at the other palettes before I make a decision on this one. So I've actually decided I'm going to declutter this one, this Tarte palette, and I'm going to declutter this one because this one, I've just swatched this one, the two greens, and I've swatched these two kind of blue greens, and they're very similar to one another, and it's a color that I don't use that often, so I don't need so many of them. So I think I'm going to declutter this one. And then with this one, all these sparkly shades that are really, really pretty are glitters, and obviously you need a glitter glue base, which I do have. But at the moment I'm not doing those sort of eyeshadow looks, should I say. And I've got the Textured Neutrals eyeshadow palette that I could use if I ever want that sort of glitter finish. So I don't think I actually need to keep those two. So I'm going to declutter 2 more from this section. So I think that's quite good. I've got 10 in this section, and I'm decluttering 4 and I'm keeping 6. So I think I'm doing okay. On that note, I will close off this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next eyeshadow declutter. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying this declutter series and seeing how my mind is like working overtime to try and declutter my eyeshadow collection. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.